You are so sussy. I know you took my Fortnite card, Nerevar. Nerevar, the item shop unmourned looks down upon you. Return to the battle pass immediately, or face the epic power of the 6th house. Ha ha ha. Is that a false copy of the battle pass? Akulakan, zap this guy's balls. Come, Nerevar. Today we will draw the mongrel dogs of the Empire as Soyjaks and us as the Giga Chads. We will create amusing strawman drawings of the false gods of the tribunal and send it to them through the internet. Come, I have prepared a computer for you within the heart chamber. Come. The Dunmer of legend were an invincible warrior race. I am their son, and at long last, I have risen to claim my birthright. I have stepped into the ranks of greatness. All my life I have worked towards this goal, and for what? To be brushed aside as easily as a common housefly by the Nerevarine? A true Dunmer would not have fallen. Maybe I'm not who I think I am. Perhaps there are still new plateaus for me to reach, far greater heights to which I must ascend. Yes, I will ascend. The universe will marvel to see the ultimate Dunmer potential once again realized, and I will be legendary. And then Nerevarine, then I will see you bow before your prince. You can do the rump shaker, huh? The thug shaker. Gimme the thug shaker, dude. Shake your ass. Take your hands off and shake that shit. Pull your shirt up. I know you can shake it. Shake it. Yeah, that's some thug ass right there. Oh yeah, Nerevar, that'll work. Come everyone, friend or traitor, come. I had time to waste at Red Mountain this weekend, whilst Nerevar converses with the piece of filth they call imperial guilds. So I thought to myself, now would be a great time to watch my favorite anime Evangelion. I quickly browsed the web and pirated a few movies because I'm a literal god, and so what I thought was a simple remastered collection of my beloved Evangelion was something completely different. To compare the rebuilds to the original Evangelion would be to compare Skyrim to Morrowind. It's not fair, but both are good. The rebuild saga starts with 1.0, or You Are Not Alone, which off the bat is a total lie, because I know damn well none of you got bitches to watch Evangelion with. That's why you're here in the first place. We immediately start with Miss Misato trying to groom Shinji, which is always a good sign. And before I can go any further, I have to address the silt strider in the room, which is the god-awful Amazon dub. If you're actually thinking of watching this on Amazon, don't. It will make you want to kill yourself more than you already do after watching End of Evangelion. Where were we? Oh, yes. So any fan of the original show is going to know the general premise of 1.0. It's almost boring in the way it's almost exactly a summary of the first half of the show, and I almost want to recommend any fan to skip this one if you know your shit. But there is just enough variation in this one so you can get lost if you jump straight into 2.0. Thanks a lot, Anno. For the most part, though, these changes are not so major. Shinji's friend group, the Idiot Trio, gets completely cucked. So I hope you weren't hoping for any Toji development. There was also an immediate push to make Gendo the villain right off the bat, no doubt about it. And in doing so makes the deputy commander sound quite evil, which had me put off as his original role was somewhat of an anti-hero. Besides that, there's a few more scenes that make me question why Misato isn't on the National Sex Offender Registry. Overall, not a great start to what is supposed to be a reboot to the greatest anime of all time, but it could have been much worse. Oh, look at the time. This has taken much longer than expected. The 6th house will have to wait for the rest. After viewing the recent hit anime Spy X Family, I have to say I'm quite impressed. Now, don't get me wrong, it has its fair share of problems, but overall it manages to find a good balance between slice of life and shonen. While die-hard fans of either might find their respective aspects a bit lacking, I wouldn't expect any less from a filthy Argonian. Nothing is good enough for them. In terms of flow compared to other anime, I'd say it gets a bit stagnate somewhere in the middle. They just kind of prevent the family from falling apart for a while. Comparing this to other anime, it tries to blend like Samurai Champloo in the action department, or My Dress-Up Darling in what Theodork would call Slife. We can see it drags its feet a bit more than it should. Don't get me wrong, this ain't no Samurai Champloo by the 9. There's no way they can touch whatever the fuck Watanabe got a hold of. But for the sake of comparison, for Shamplu's 25-episode run, it completed so much more in its time compared to Spy X Family. This is intentional, of course, because there's more to build on in Season 2, but with how it presents itself, the viewer isn't ecstatic to see the next shenanigans the gang gets into. I swear to God, if I have to hear Twilight monologue about world peace one more time, I will see to it personally all of Tamriel will feel my wrath. Overall, I give it an 8 out of 10, not as good as the Evia rebuilds. Come, Nerevar, friend or traitor, come. I heard that you are a fan of gay furry erotica, so I have acquired 2 of my slaves, a Khajiit and Argonian, to my heart chamber. I will have them put on a homosexual play for us while we do a funny voiceover for what we think is happening. What do you mean that's weird? You're the one that's into that stuff. I was just trying to... How am I the gay one in this situation? I'm just appealing to what you like as my friend. Fine, I get it. No, it's okay. Nothing I do is ever appreciated. I feel like this friendship is very one-sided and I'm hurt, Nerevar. I'm hurt. I live in the Red Mountain in Vardenfell. My name is Dagoth Ur. I'm 4,000 years old. I believe in taking care of myself, and a balanced diet and a rigorous exercise routine. In the morning, I use a deep pore ash salt cleanser lotion. In the shower, I use slowed soap. It hydrates my skin and fortifies my agility. Then a Druff Wax scrub to fortify my strength. And on the face, an exfoliating Scrib jelly scrub. Then apply an Kresh fiber facial mask, which I leave on for 10 minutes while I prepare the rest of my routine. I always use Dagoth brandy to moisturize my skin. Then I ask my ash slaves and dreamers to put tables, chairs, and other furniture in random ways in order to drive them crazy. There is an idea of a Dagoth Ur, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me. Only an entity, something illusory. And though I can hide my cold gaze and you can shake my hand while coming unprepared and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable, remember, I'm a god. Greetings, Nerevar. I am honored to have you here. Today is a big day for me. My horoscope said that I would have an encounter with someone who will change my fate. I'm worried though because Massar is in retrograde and it's really messing with my chakras. I can't even function when I'm like this. I was born under the Atronach, you see. It's basically a Leo, but I handle stress more like a Gemini. Tell me, Nerevar, what star sign were you born under? What? How do you not know? These things are important, Nerevar. They tell you your destiny. What do you mean you don't believe? You're an Awa, Nerevar. I couldn't expect you to understand. You just need proof, Nerevar. Listen, last week my horoscope said great misfortune would befall me, and not 4 hours later I spilled my coffee all over the tapestry I was preparing to hang in the heart chamber. Why, just the other day it said that I should try new things, and so I did skooma. Have you ever had skooma, Nerevar? The Khajiits are really onto something with it. I feel as though my third eye has opened. I'm gonna start taking yoga classes. Got the mat and everything. You should join me sometime, Nerevar. I heard an hour of yoga a day can keep you grippy. With Azura as my witness, I plan on becoming the Grip Reaper. Slay, Queen! The Phantom, exterior like fish eggs, interior like suicide wrist rags. I could exercise you, this could be your phys ed. Cheat on your man, homie. I tried to sneak through the door, Nerevar. I can't make it. The shit's stuck. Out of my way, and door stuck. Please, I beg you, we're dead. You're a genuine dick sucker. Fuckers in Balmora telling me, always in the corner club. The Nerevarine ain't bout this, Nerevar ain't bout that. My boy a grand spy master on fucking the blades, and them they say that Enwa don't be putting in no work. Shut the fuck up. Y'all Enwas ain't no shits. All y'all mongrel dogs talking about Nerevar ain't no hitter, Nerevar ain't this, Nerevar a fake. Shut the fuck up. Y'all don't live with that, Enwa. Y'all know that. Enwa got caught with Sunder shooting at the tribunal and shit. Enwa been on probation since fucking the first era mongrel. Stop fucking playing him like that. Them Enwa's savage orcs out there. If I catch another mongrel dog talking sweet about Indoral Nerevar, I'm fucking beating they ass. I'm not fucking playing no more. Y'all know them Enwa's roll with Lil Caius and them. What are you doing?
Is this how you honor the sixth house and the tribe unmourned? What a fool. I'm a god. How can you kill a god? Too late for my mercy.
You come back to me as a lizard? How cringe, Nerevar. Come, Will Smith. Friend or traitor, come. Come and look upon your wife's haircut. and bring your slap. Our ratings have need of it. To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand The Last of Us Part 2. The story is extremely subtle, and without a solid grasp of philosophy, most of the meaning will go over a typical Enwa's head. There's also Abby's nihilistic outlook, which is deftly woven into her characterization. Her personal philosophy draws heavily from Narodnaya Volya literature, for instance. The fans understand this stuff. They have the intellectual capacity to truly appreciate the depths of these meaning, to realize that they're not just shock value. They say something deep about life. As a consequence, people who dislike The Last of Us Part 2 truly are idiots. Of course, they wouldn't appreciate, for instance, the meaning in Joel's existential catchphrase, "Who are you?" which itself is a cryptic reference to Turgenev's Russian epic Fathers and Sons. I'm smirking right now, just imagining one of those addle-pated outlanders scratching their heads in confusion as Neil Druckmann's genius wit unfolds itself on their television screens. What a grand and intoxicating innocence. How I pity them. And yes, by the way, I do have a The Last of Us Part 2 tattoo. And no, you cannot see it. It's for the ladies' eyes only. And even then, they have to demonstrate that they're within 5 IQ points of my own, preferably lower, beforehand. Nothing personal. Nerevar. Listen, Nerevar, I know you still love the wizarding world of Harry Potter. You've got a lot of emotional baggage tied up in whether you're a member of House Braggadocio, House Gifted Child, House Samwise Gamgee, or House Eugenics are good actually. But I beg you, please, don't buy this game. Walk away from both Rowling and the wizarding world. Don't give Warner Brothers any more money. You're supporting transphobia if you buy this game. Hug. I need to hit my Daedric dab pen because the shit you just told me, Nerevar, was the most down bad shit I have ever heard. Like, why are you straight quoting the lusty Argonian maid at me acting like it's smooth or some shit? Nerevar, I get you've been modding Skyrim since 2011 when it came out, and that it has turned your mind into that of a mongrel dog of the Empire. And you can no longer interact with other normal people with all the nude big badonker mods you could get your grubby little hands on. But make no mistake, by the moon and star, if you say anything like that again, I will ban you from the Red Mountain Sesh party. There's going to be a clown and everything, and if you keep this up, you aren't invited. So keep that sus shit out of the true Morrowind Discord server, or I'll be forced to ban you. Welcome, moon and star, to this place where destiny is made. Come, Nerevar. Friend or traitor, I have baked a cake for you, Nerevar. That's right, it's your favorite flavor, chocolate. What? You don't like chocolate anymore? I spent a lot of time on this cake, Nerevar. I had assumed we would have a nice reunion, only made better by a delicious chocolate cake. I even hid strawberries on the inside as a nice surprise. This whole thing has been eye-opening for me. I thought you would appreciate my work, Nerevar. I'm hurt. I am not crazy. I know he swapped those numbers. I knew it was 1216, one after Magna Carta, as if I could ever make such a mistake. Never, never. I just couldn't prove it. He covered his tracks. He got that idiot at the copy shop to lie for him. You think this is something? You think this is bad? This chicanery? He's done worse. That billboard. Are you telling me that a man just happens to fall like that? No, he orchestrated it. Jimmy, he defecated through a sunroof and I saved him, and I shouldn't have. I took him into my own firm. What was I thinking? He'll never change. He'll never change. Ever since he was 9, always the same. Couldn't keep his hands out of the cash drawer. But not our Jimmy. Couldn't be precious Jimmy. Stealing them blind. And he gets to be a lawyer. What a sick joke. I should have stopped him when I had the chance. And you have to stop him. Come, Nerevar, friend or traitor, come. Come and look upon me YOLOing my entire net worth on options expiring tomorrow. And bring a Wendy's application. I will have need of it. Nerevar, I have decided to become an investor. We are in the greatest market to ever exist. Jim Cramer said buy and Michael Berry said sell, so I'm saying fuck it. Nerevar, the market only goes up. Don't be a gay bear. That is not how you honor the 6th house and the tribe unmourned. Come, Nerevar, let us give our septums to the Daedra-funded hedge funds. Listen, Nerevar, I have found an empirical link between Nocturnal's release of feet pics and the value of the East Empire Company's stock. Trust me, Nerevar, I have done at least 5 minutes of due diligence. I'm a god, Nerevar, but more importantly, I'm an investor. I know what I'm talking about. While I can't say that you have never been responsible for helping out the province, you have also created or influenced the vast majority of major threats in the first place. The werewolves only came to Solstheim because of your colony. The same goes for the Dark Brotherhood. You bought a slave and gave her to a tribal chief for an alliance. You plan to destroy the heart. You are a super spreader of the divine disease. You took orders from a shirtless crackhead, joined the mongrel dogs of the Empire to oppress our people, and you killed Uncle Sweetshare, almost ruining new life. The vast majority of this province's problems are caused, at least indirectly, by you. And you know what? In all honesty, that would be fine. You are very intelligent, and you almost always do fix it, and in the end it's extremely unlikely that you won't end up benefiting the world a lot more than you will damage it. But fuck, dude. You can't keep using your magic as a way to escape your humanity. I didn't ask you to say brandy because I thought an ash vampire would seriously care, or because I was insecure. I did it because it made you look weird, and I was trying to get you to adopt behaviors and use language that makes you come across like a normal fucking mer. Everyone knows what distilled alcohol is, but calling it that outside the context of an alchemy class makes you seem like someone who defines themselves solely by their magic, which is undeniably who you are. I know you think that there's nothing wrong with being that person, dude, but there is. Taking your magicka and deciding that it elevates you above the rest of the planet is an awful decision that will lead to a life filled with misery and alienation. It will color every interaction you ever have and make it impossible to have real friends or relationships. I'm not saying that you won't have any, but they won't hold any meaning to you, and they certainly won't bring you any happiness. Sure, you'll probably manage a pity fuck or two after you save the province for the 8th time, but it'll bring you nothing but emptiness. Maybe you'll eventually abandon women altogether and decide that your true love is magic, secretly seething inside whenever you see a guy like Fargoth or Jib getting married to someone he really cares about. Who cares about him? Get out, dude. You're fired. Big McFuckoffs from McDagoffs.
For me, it's the McChicken, the best fast food sandwich. I even ask for extra McChicken sauce packets, and the staff is so friendly and more than willing to oblige. One time I asked for McChicken sauce packets, and they gave me 3. I said, "Wow, 3 for free." And the nice, friendly McDonald's worker laughed and said, "I'm going to call you 3 for free." Now the staff greets me with, "Hey, it's 3 for free," and always give me 3 packets. It's such a fun and cool atmosphere at my local McDonald's restaurant. I go there at least 3 times a week for lunch and a large iced coffee with milk instead of cream, 1-2 times for breakfast on the weekend, and maybe once for dinner when I'm in a rush, but want a great meal that is affordable, fast, and can match my daily nutritional needs. I even dip my fries in McChicken sauce. It's delicious. What a great restaurant.
All right, guys, I'm gonna rate your outfit. I don't expect much from you, to be honest. Bro, just buy yourself a personality or something. Daedric armor is so third era, mate. Not bad. Looks like Nerevar at level 25 or something. Boring. That's great. That's the spirit, bro. I love it. Wow. Look at that subtle off-white coloring, the tasteful thickness of it. Oh my God. It even has a Colovian fur hat. Nerevar, I need your help with something. The mongrel dogs of the Empire are insisting that I begin, how did they put it, paying taxes. I do not know what these taxes are. What do you mean give part of my income to them? I am a god. I don't have income for them to take. What do you mean property tax? Is this volcano prime real estate? Are they feeling like putting a city here? A garrison? A nice, quaint little grape vineyard in the middle of the Daedra cursed, divine disease blasted, ash-covered rocks? I already let them mine the ebony out there. The least they can do is leave me be. Wait, you mean to say that because I am a god, I can get exempted if I declare Dagoth Ur, the place, a church? I mean, it's hardly a church, more of a Dwemer tunnel and giant robot construction facility. I mean, I guess it could be a church. We don't really worship anything here. All of us ash vampires have a fairly equal relationship. Sort of a semi-anarchist thing, like, I am in charge of our plan to drive the mongrel dogs of the Empire from Morrowind, but that is more because of circumstance. Go, take this form to Dagoth Ur. They are my accountant. Go through fire and war, and speak to the law of this land and tell them that either they can accept me and my tax-exempt status, or they can try to come and get it. I do own a Dwemer crossbow, for home defense purposes after all. Be gone. I own a dwarven crossbow for home defense, since that's what the Daedric princes intended. 4 outlanders break into my house. What the Meruna's Dagon, as I grab my powdered mask and dwarven crossbow. Blow a Kwama egg-sized hole through the first man, he's dead on the spot. Draw my Daedric dart on the second man, miss him entirely because it's a fucking throwing weapon and it nails the neighbor's Nyx hound. I have to resort to the Dwemer construct mounted at the top of the stairs loaded with ebony throwing stars. Tally ho and waz! The ebony throwing stars shred 2 men in the blast. The sound and extra shrapnel cause a panic in the silt striders outside. Fix Keening and charge the last terrified fetcher. He bleeds out waiting on the ordinators to arrive, since triangular Keening wounds are impossible to stitch up. Just as the Daedra intended. Nerevar, I was walking back to Dagoth Ur the other day when... No, I mean the building, not... You know what I meant, you little Argonian git? Anyway, I was walking back to Dagoth Ur, the building, the other day when I was accosted by a group of Ashlanders. These Ashlanders were wearing green coats, long green coats, with large white circles on either side of their breast. No, they were not all women. Breast is just a term for the upper chest area in general. No, it isn't insensitive to Argonians. You know just as well as I do that some Argonians absolutely do have breasts. Anyway, these Ashlanders rocked up on me and began asking me questions. Questions like, how do you say mongrel dog in Old Aldmeris? And how do you say I am a god in Akaviri? Obviously, being a god, and also having been born and raised speaking Aldmeris, I answered the first question immediately. The second question, however, was much more difficult. I have never even seen an Akaviri. I know that shirtless crackhead who gave you your orders for a while was an Akaviri fanboy, one of those Blades weirdos, but I am 90% sure he doesn't actually speak Akaviri. The invasion happened after my time, and I am not a fan of this Akaviri anime that people keep speaking of. In any case, I wasn't able to answer this question, so they beat the fuck out of my legs with chitin maces and threatened that they would be back tomorrow for more questions. I heard them mentioning that they worshipped the great language owl. I am terrified, Nerevar. I am scared of what these cultists might do. I haven't left Red Mountain in weeks, which was all right at first. I have just been playing League of Legends, but I'm starting to run out of food, and the ash vampires are worried about me. But I know those green owl language cultists are out there, and I know that they are going to come for me, and beat the fuck out of my legs again. Nerevar, I beseech you, please go forth and cut a deal with the Food Lion in Aldrune. Get them to deliver me my groceries. I have faxed a shopping list to Dagoth Aldous. Go get it from him and deliver it to the Food Lion. I promise that no harm will come to anyone who comes to me bearing the tendies I have requested. Walk with peace, Nerevar. Kill Argonians, behead Argonians, roundhouse kick a Argonian into the concrete, slam dunk a Argonian baby into the trash can, crucify filthy Argonians, defecate in a Argonian's food, launch Argonians into the sun, stir-fry Argonians in a wok, toss Argonians into active volcanoes, urinate into a Argonian's gas tank, judo throw Argonians into a wood chipper, twist Argonians' heads off, report Argonians to the IRS, karate chop Argonians in half, curb stomp pregnant Argonians, trap Argonians in quicksand, crush Argonians in the trash compactor, liquefy Argonians in a vat of acid, eat Argonians, dissect Argonians, exterminate Argonians in the gas chamber, stomp Argonian skulls with steel-toed boots, cremate Argonians in the oven, lobotomize Argonians, mandatory abortions for Argonians, grind Argonian fetuses in the garbage disposal, drown Argonians in fried chicken grease, vaporize Argonians with a ray gun, kick old Argonians down the stairs, feed Argonians to alligators, slice Argonians with a katana. Come, Nerevar, friend or traitor, come. Come and look upon my squishmallow collection. What do you mean they make me look childish? You wouldn't understand I had to fight and kill 400 mongrel imperial mothers trying to secure these squishmallows for their children. They fought tooth and nail for their plushy animals. And by the moon and star, I wasn't about to let them feel any bit of happiness. The imperial dogs took away my bluey toys. So I took their squishmallows. Sweet Nerevar, I have something to tell you. I am gay, so gay in fact that I slay so hard that the very foundations of Mundus shake and shiver. Not even the falsely claimed Daedric gods, the 17 princes of oblivion and the so-called 9 divines could hinder my homosexuality. The tribunal tried to send me to a conversion camp one time, but I simply broke out. Almalexia was just jealous I was dating her husband and he liked me better. Slay, come Nerevar, join me in the heart chamber while I perform this experiment in transfiguration magic. I was inspired to try this by a fellow traveler who told me of this spell in which he transforms into a pickle. I kid you not, Nerevar. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen. Come, Nerevar, friend or traitor, come. Come and look upon the... Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were an Argonian. No, it's not a problem. I had just expected a dark elf. No, it's not because I think they're more capable or anything. It's just because you... No, dude, I don't have an issue with reptiles. Some of my best slaves were Argonian. All right, that came out wrong. Listen, what I'm trying to say is that... What? I'm sure you come from a very fine swamp. Very good with a spear. Assuming? I'm not assuming anything. That's just what you people do. The royal you. As in, look, we got off on the wrong foot. Together we shall speak for the law and the land and shall drive the mongrel lizards of the empire. Dogs. I meant dogs. Look, I'm sorry, I just really expected a Dunmer. What? Why? Because you were a Dunmer the last 8 fucking times. I don't know what the hell Azura's playing at, making you an Argonian, but I assume it's a joke. No, I don't think Argonians are jokes. Can we just fight? This is making me very uncomfortable. Come, Nerevar. Come to the heart chamber where I may speak about the tale of the 2 Argonians. One Argonian has 100 septums, while the other Argonian has 98 septums. You have heard of this one, right, Nerevar? They come upon a witch's shop that says, turn into a Dunmer for 99 septums. The 2 plotting Argonians agree that the Argonian with 100 septums will go in and give the other the one leftover septum. The Argonian goes into the witch's shop and comes out as a perfect Dunmer. The Argonian says, wow, that is really good, now give me the septum. The Dunmer then says, get a job in Wa. To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand the lusty Argonian maid. The humor is extremely subtle, and without a solid grasp of theoretical physics, most of the jokes will go over a typical viewer's head. There's also Crantius Colto's nihilistic outlook, which is deftly woven into his characterization. His personal philosophy draws heavily from Telvanni literature, for instance. The fans understand this stuff. They have the intellectual capacity to truly appreciate the depths of these jokes, to realize that they're not just funny. They say something deep about life. As a consequence, people who dislike the lusty Argonian maid truly are idiots. Of course, they wouldn't appreciate, for instance, the humor in Colto's existential catchphrase, polish my spear, which itself is a cryptic reference to Vivek's 36 lessons. I'm smirking right now just imagining one of those addle-pated simpletons scratching their heads in confusion as Crassius Curio's genius wit unfolds itself on their scrolls. What fools! How I pity them! And yes, by the way, I do have a lifts her tail figurine. And no, you cannot see it. It's for Nerevar's eyes only. And even then, their current incarnation would have to demonstrate that they're within 5 IQ points of my own, preferably lower, beforehand. Nothing personnel, Swit. The missile knows where it is at all times. It knows this because it knows where it isn't. By subtracting where it is from where it isn't, or where it isn't from where it is, whichever is greater, it obtains a difference or deviation. The guidance subsystem uses deviations to generate corrective commands to drive the missile from a position where it is to a position where it isn't, and arriving at a position that it wasn't, it now is. Consequently, the position where it is now the position that it wasn't, and it follows that the position that it was is now the position that it isn't. In the event that the position that it is in is not the position that it wasn't, the system has acquired a variation. The variation being the difference between where the missile is and where it wasn't. If variation is considered to be a significant factor, it too may be corrected by the GEA. However, the missile must also know where it was. The missile guidance computer scenario works as follows. Because a variation has modified some of the information that the missile has obtained, it is not sure just where it is. However, it is sure where it isn't, within reason, and it know where it was. It now subtracts where it should be from where it wasn't, or vice versa. And by differentiating this from the algebraic sum of where it shouldn't be and where it was, it is able to obtain the deviation and its variation, which is called error. Another shot of Dagoth brandy? For me? Why not? That's good. Say, Nerevar, you ever notice how high elves make up 2% of the population, yet own 90% of the banks and ebony mines? I always thought that was strange. You know what else is strange? They always call the Nords anti-Altmeric, but they never say why. Anyway, did you hear the rumors about Crassius Curio? They caught him diddling some Argonian kids and then threw him in jail. Apparently had a private island off of the Gold Coast. Later found out the Emperor and many other members of the houses were involved as well. He apparently killed himself a month later in his cell at Fort Moon Moth with no witnesses around. Come to find out he had dual citizenship in the Somerset Isles. How peculiar. What's that? You want to know about the Oblivion Crisis too? I can't say much, but what I can say is I saw 5 dancing high elves right when the Oblivion gates opened. Probably Thalmor agents. Coincidence? I think not. Look, all I'm saying is Pellinol Whitestrake did nothing wrong. Oops, did I say that? Pardon me, you know how I get when I drink. Anyway, pass me that skooma pipe. You've been boofing that shit all day.
Hey, bro. Friend or traitor? I know life can be tough, but don't give up. Remember, the darkest time is just before dawn, so sleep on it. Something great will happen in your life, later or sooner. You need to be focused and dedicated. Don't come unprepared like Nerevar when he didn't bring Wraithguard. Love yourself because you are genuinely amazing and unique, and love everyone, even Argonians, even Khajiits. Look into your heart chamber and trust yourself. Dagoth Ur tell you are worth it. Just believe in your dreams and stand up for yourself. Remember, you are someone's moon and star, so don't give up and do it. Bring Wraithguard to the heart chamber and come to the place where destiny is made. Make your dreams come true. Drive the mongrel negative thought out of your mind and become the amazing being that you want to be. That's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.